Good morning, and welcome to the Boulder Valley Universal Unitarian Fellowship. I'm Paolo Sparti, my pronouns are he, him, his, and I am joined today by a service associate, Clara Kelly. Today's music is provided by Tad Coriath on piano, and so many talented singers, Debbie Larson on drums, and Amy Austin song leading today. Today's tech team is Paula Zimmerman, Kathy Partridge, and Deborah Minch. This morning, I invite you to really take in these welcome words and imagine how it might change the way you interact with people you have relationships with or just getting to know. If you feel so inclined, I'd love it if you wanted to repeat with me each time I say, "You are welcome here." You are welcome here today. In all the beauty of languages, cultures, skin tones, shapes, and sizes, gifts and challenges that come together in your uniqueness. In all the ways you experience and express gender, you are welcome here today. In the beauty that is who you love and how you love, you are welcome here today. In all the ways you make your living and the places you are from, you are welcome here today. No matter how long you are away, nor how soon you will return, you are welcome here. Whether you come with laughter in your heart or tears, you are welcome here today. You are invited to join us with a curious mind, a loving heart, and a willing spirit. You are welcome here today. We acknowledge that the land surrounding us is the stolen territory of the Arapaho people, and that many native peoples lived freely on this land for millennia before the arrival of white settlers. We commit ourselves to being a center of spiritual exploration and justice making, to anti-racism and anti-oppression work within and beyond our congregation. If you are new here, we're glad you found us and hope that in this community, whether you're with us in person or virtually, you can experience the warmth and love of this congregation. Please come back a few times to really get to know us. We have many opportunities during the week for social connection and spiritual growth. Those on Zoom can check out the chat to help you get better connected. Those in person can stop by the welcome table in the foyer for fellowship information and our newcomer form. It's also on the QR code in the back of the hymnal. If you would like to view a simple order of service for today's service on your phone, please scan the QR code on our screens now or click on the link in the Zoom chat. If everyone on Zoom is welcome to stay for casual coffee hour and conversation following the service. If you are here in person today, you're welcome to coffee hour in the fellowship hall. And today's Inquirer session in the sanctuary after the surgery. Oh, sorry, that's not applicable. If you're joining on Zoom, please feel free to greet each other in the chat. And if you're a newcomer, let us know so we can greet you. We love to know who is among us. Those of you in the sanctuary, please take a moment to greet your neighbor. Yeah. If you have a chalice at home, you can light it with us as Clara lights our fellowship chalice. So we know where all our chalices are. Please write in the chat, chalice lit in, and the name of your town. Please say the words along with me as Clara lights our chalice. We light this chalice for the warmth of love, the light of truth, and the energy of action. And now I'll sing our bowl again, inviting it to draw you deeper into the present moment and this, our beloved community.
In these ever increasingly dark political times, when scapegoating of the trans community has run rampant, the queer community is desperately in need of allies. But how can you tell if someone's an ally? Well, you know how countries are allies with each other. They can sign the paperwork and everything, but as we've seen with our current administration, allies are best shown by their actions, not their words. So today, we want to share with you some stories of some wonderful straight and cis allies who have meant a lot to the queer community. And I'm starting you out with someone who's kind of a local legend you may or may not know. Recently, I was able to attend a special event on Pearl Street in Boulder, a commemoration of Clela Rorex. Say that name 5 times fast. A Boulder County clerk who famously started issuing marriage licenses in 1975. 40 years before our Supreme Court made such an action legal. The story told at the event I attended was that a couple of gay men from Colorado Springs tried to get a license there, and the clerk told them there, "We don't do that kind of thing here, you better go to Boulder." Which, yes. On March 26, 1975, Clela Rorex consulted the assistant district attorney to confirm that there were no Colorado laws prohibiting marriage between individuals of the same sex, and there were not. With no legal barriers identified, Rorex courageously issued the license, stating years later, "After having been so deeply involved in women's rights movements, who was I to deny a right to anyone else? It wasn't my job to legislate morality." Clela was well accustomed to fighting for her rights, by the way. When she was elected, the man who had to county clerk, the man who had the job before her, refused to vacate his office, and so they had to call the sheriff. Seriously, this poor woman. Anyway, Clela was 31, she was straight, and she was able to issue 6 marriage licenses to gay couples before the Colorado Attorney General shut her down. As you can imagine, though, guys, she faced a wicked backlash in 75. It was not great. Death threats, hate mail. And since she was also a single mom who suffered chronic migraines, she was forced out halfway through her term. But our Boulder County Courthouse is now a National Historic Landmark. Yeah, because of Clela's bravery and willingness to stick out her neck for a community she didn't even belong to. But she must have known, like we do, that all of us are connected in the web of life, and that what lifts one of us up lifts us all.
Our first hymn is in the teal hymnal. It's number 1014, and you'll see that it's titled Standing on the Side of Love. But as we become more and more aware that language can be something that it eliminates the possibilities for people, we're going to change this to Answering the Call of Love. So yeah. I think you'll see the correct words up on the screen. So number 1014, teal hymnal, will you please rise in body and spirit and join me in singing.
As many of you may know, I try never to miss an opportunity to sing the praises of the late, great Sir Terry Pratchett. I wanted to bring him up now because he was an ally, both in person and in his writing. Maybe your talent isn't activism. Maybe you sing songs, or write books, or any number of other things. And I want you to know that you can use those things to make a difference too. I also want to bring Pratchett up here for those of you who may have an attachment to J.K. Rowling. She is widely known for using her Harry Potter wealth to fund an organization dedicated to removing transgender people's rights in the workplace, in public life, and in protected female spaces. I know what it's like to love someone's art and find out that behind the scenes, they're living a life you can no longer support with your money or your time. And it's hard. So finding another fantasy author, the type of person you can be proud to support, can be really helpful. So I'd like to introduce you to the Discworld series by Terry Pratchett. In this series, Pratchett explores themes of speciesism, footnote. Racism was not a problem on Discworld because what with trolls and dwarfs and so on, speciesism was more interesting. Black and white lived in perfect harmony and ganged up on green. He also explores authoritarianism, gender, sexuality, and all manner of other justice issues. He does it with eloquence and laugh-out-loud humor. In his book, Monstrous Regiment, he explores gender as has both a lesbian couple and at least one transgender character. I also want to add here that he specifically wrote them this way. He didn't come back later and say, "Oh, I think of this guy as gay." Pratchett had flaws, like all humans do, and in some of his earlier writing from the late 1970s, you can see them. But the really wonderful thing about him is that when he was confronted about them, he chose to listen and to learn. He also chose kindness to others. As a straight ally, he doesn't always get things right, and sometimes his characters don't either. He did, however, evolve and change and grow, both personally and as a writer. He goes from being primarily a gag writer in his early books to writing satire and making real points about injustice. We need allies that are willing to make mistakes. We need you to try, and in doing so, you will mess up. The trick is to listen rather than to be defensive, and when you are corrected.
And now I invite us into our time of community connection, our time of sacred sharing. If you're on Zoom and you'd like to share a joy or concern, please type that into the chat window, sending it to everyone. Thank you. And let us briefly know what's in your heart today. When we get to that point, Deborah will read those aloud, and Paula will add a stone to our sacred waters on your behalf. All right? I have a few last stones for teachers and queer families who will suffer because of the Supreme Court's ruling regarding LGBTQIA books in the classroom, immigrants who will suffer because of the Supreme Court's ruling about birthright citizenship, and all of the joys and concerns and hopes and fears that we carry around in our hearts, but that didn't make it into the book or the chat. A stone for those. I have a prayer for you today written by Helen H.P. Rivers. Meet me at the altar of banned books, a blanket fort sanctuary. We'll dance to a chorus of children's laughter. Meet me in the joy, the sorrow, beneath the rainbow banner. Bring your questions, cares, concerns, and the glitter in your pocket, the sparkle in your smile. Bring your heavy heart, your favorite mug, your very best swear words, and set down your bravest face. Meet me in the heartbeat between what has been and what will be. Meet me in the flicker of our eternal flame. We need not face this moment alone. And now from our seats, we're going to sing our responsive hymn, Spirit of Life. Now I want to share with you about Ruth Coker Burks. Her story moved me to tears when I read it. Hopefully I can not cry today, but you'll forgive me if I do. She lived in Arkansas in the 80s, just when the gay cancer was being recognized by doctors. Ruth had struggled when she was a child with the loss of her father and her mother's abuse, but she'd become a successful real estate agent and made a life for herself and her daughter. One day, she was just at the hospital with a friend for an unrelated appointment, but then she saw a room closed off with hazard tape, the nurses arguing about who was going to go in. There were food trays full of food set outside his door that no one would bring inside. Out of curiosity, she looked into the room to see who was there, not afraid of the tape, I guess. And she said she could barely tell the patient from the sheets. He was so emaciated. I went over to the bed, and I didn't know what to do, but I took his hand, and I said, "Honey, what can I do for you?" He looked up at me, and he didn't have any more tears to cry. He was so dehydrated. There was nothing left to produce any tears, but he looked up at me, said he wanted his mama. She did her best to track down his mother. Turned out his mother knew exactly where he was and knew he was dying and didn't care. She told Ruth he had died to her when he came out as gay. His mother was so hateful, she didn't even come claim his body. For kids of the people of the younger generation, you might not know that one of the most awful realities of the AIDS crisis was that since people couldn't be legally married to their partners, they weren't allowed to come in to the hospital rooms and be with their partners. So partners knew that when their loves entered the hospital, that was goodbye. So many people in our precious community died alone and in pain, afraid, with no family or loved ones near, and doctors not even understanding what was wrong with them. But Ruth decided that was not okay with her. With absolutely no skin in the game outside of simple compassion, she stayed with the man until he passed. And then, when the hospital morgue refused to take his contaminated body, She had him cremated and buried next to her own father. Word got around the hospital that Coker wasn't afraid of these gay men who were suffering, and she dedicated herself to their care. No matter what, she answered their calls. She buried 39 others in her family's cemetery and cared for hundreds more over the decade. Ruth, by her own generosity of spirit, had carved herself a place into the queer community, and with actions that went above and beyond what anyone could have expected of her. And so, as you can see in the picture, that's Ruth in the middle. She started hanging out with her local drag community and made many friends amongst the rainbow. But there were prices to be paid. Her church removed her from their finance committee. Her daughter stopped being invited to class birthday parties. And her work attracted the unwanted attention of the KKK, who burned crosses in her yard on 2 separate occasions. Personally, I can only aspire to live in such a way as to piss off the KKK.
Each week, we remind ourselves of the abundance of our lives and this community by giving half of our plate away to those organizations that share our values. Today, the half plate is for Pink Haven. Pink Haven are a collective of organizations and individuals who are committed to trans liberation and joy and to grow community defense, mutual aid, and alternative systems of care for gender diverse people. They are working to create networks of safety and direct support for trans beloveds and their families who need to relocate, access health care across state lines, or to stay safe as possible where they are. And they are in need of urgent funds. You can text your donation at the number on the screen, or if you're at the fellowship today, place a donation in the offering plate as it passes. Please give generously, as you so often do. For the work of this fellowship and the work of Pink Haven, we dedicate these offerings. So now, I'd like to highlight several great allies in the science fiction community. One of the amazing things about science fiction is that it often becomes science fact. Imagining a future is what has to happen before we can build that future. iPads and cell phones got their start on shows like Star Trek. However, it isn't only gadgets and gizmos. Real social change has happened because these visionaries showed us what it was like first in science fiction work. Director Robert Shearer and writer Jerry Cecil Sauer, writing under the pseudonym Jerry Taylor, created an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation way back in 1992 that explored a person's gender and right to self-determination. In the episode, The Outcast, the Enterprise crew meets a society that strongly opposes gender differentiation. However, there are some that feel they are specifically men or women and want to live as such. For those of you familiar with The Next Generation, you will not be surprised to hear that Commander Riker falls in love with one of these women. Along with Commander Riker, we hear this woman's story, and we feel pulled in aiding her to live as she chooses. And we are crushed when she is kidnapped by the government and brainwashed in their conversion therapy. She is forced to conform to their society's standards. And think about this. This was in 1992, long before the right's orchestrated attempt to demonize trans people, long before most people were even thinking about the 1% of the population that is transgender.
I'll leave it to Riker, huh? All right. Well, switching tracks from sci-fi for just a sec. Not that I don't love it. It's easy to lose track of people in the current hurricane of distressing political news, but I wanted to remind you today of Episcopal Bishop Marianne, who I don't know if it's Bud or Buddy. Buddy, thank you. You might remember she's had a couple of run-ins with our current president, including asking him to be merciful. And also during his last term, she took issue when police tear-gassed Black Lives Matter protests near St. John's Church, where she served, in order to clear the way for the president's photo op. But Bishop Buddy will always be my hero because of another story. I'll never forget when I was 17, and I heard that Matthew Shepard, a gay boy close to my age from Wyoming, had been tortured and left to die. Matthew was only a few years older than me, and I had no idea I was bi at the time. But my heart broke open for him, and I remember being so overwhelmed and grieving for him. My one openly gay friend that year decided not to go to prom because he was afraid. I'm sure you remember Matthew, but what you may not know is that his parents held onto his ashes for years, afraid that his grave would be desecrated if he were buried in a public place, especially in Wyoming, his home state. And his parents have since become lobbyists, especially his mom, and activists working closely with the Human Rights Council. So their presence in Wyoming is well known and not much liked. But back to the bishop. Marianne offered the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C. as a safe place for Matthew to be interred. And at his service, she said, there will be young people from all across the country having tours here and being educated. And when they pass by, they'll see a plaque in his honor. They'll see that this is a church that has learned from the example of violence, that we need to stand and be counted as those who work for justice and the full embrace of God's children.
And now, why don't we talk a little bit about actors who have really shown up for the queer community? You may remember George Takei from his famous role as Ensign Sulu on the original series Star Trek, Or possibly you know he wrote and starred in a Broadway musical about Japanese internment camps called Allegiance. While he is a member of the queer community, he is cisgender and has been an outspoken ally for the trans community. He has a vibrant presence on Facebook for the last 20 years or so, but never stronger than his "You Can Pee Next to Me" campaign. One of the early bathroom bills in North Carolina really upset George. He lifted up the stories of transgender people whose lives were disrupted by these bathroom bills and created t-shirts and pins that said, "You can pee next to me," so that people could identify themselves as trans allies. Next, I want to talk a little bit about Marlon Wayans. He is an American actor and comedian known for his role on the WB sitcom The Wayans Bros, and films such as Scary Movie. In 2023, Marlon's child came out as transgender. He has openly discussed his own journey from denial to acceptance. He has been an outspoken advocate for respect and unconditional love. Again, he isn't doing everything perfect. He has faced criticism for his lack of immediate acceptance and the language he tends to use. But he now embraces his son and is a powerful model for growth and change. Next, we have Sir Patrick Stewart. Best known for his role as Captain Jean-Luc Picard on the Star Trek series The Next Generation. He's been a loud and public ally. In 2012, when he was mistakenly outed by The Guardian, he responded that he was flattered that they would make that assumption. He has dressed in drag and challenged many masculine stereotypes. He is also openly affectionate with his longtime friend, Ian McKellen. Stewart has demonstrated a consistent commitment to queer people and their rights. And next, we have David Tennant, who is a Scottish actor who is well known for his role as the 10th Doctor on the BBC show Doctor Who, as well as shows like Broadchurch and Good Omens. He has also had parts in Harry Potter, Star Wars, and the Marvel franchise. He has been an outspoken advocate for transgender rights. He has clashed with public officials, and he has clashed with J.K. Rowling. And in 2023, as a presenter at the BAFTA Awards, he wore a t-shirt that read, "Leave trans kids alone, you absolute freaks." We need people willing to challenge others. We need people willing to wear the pins and the t-shirts. We need people willing to donate. We need people willing to protest. And we need people willing to make the art. We need people willing to console. We need straight, cis, loud, and proud allies because we cannot do this alone. Please rise in body or in spirit and join us in our chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish this chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, nor the energy of action. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again. And now for the announcements.
Good morning. I'm Robin Rathweg. I'm the president of the board for 2 more days. I use she, her pronouns. So I have a couple announcements about today. At 11:30, there'll be a meeting in the Mountain View room for preserving democracy in Ukraine. Maria Innes will be discussing her trip to Ukraine in 4 days as part of a camp in the Carpathian Mountains doing mental health relief. She's going to be helping people that are coming from the front to feel safe and protected and do some grounding, all different kinds of grounding work and exercises and stuff. So you can learn more about that in the Mountain View room after coffee hour. There's been some changes to the Arapaho and Southern Cheyenne elders and youth visit. They were planning on coming Thursday, July 3rd, and that's changed, so they're coming Sunday night on the 6th in the evening and staying through Monday morning. So next week's service will be led by Kelly Logiaducci and be on justice and equity. So if you have questions, or if you're planning on volunteering for some of those times for helping out with the Arapaho visit, talk to Kelly about that. Make sure that she's right here. And she and I believe Mary will be packing bags in the fellowship hall, welcome bags for the visit, so you can talk to them then, and actually go and help pack those bags. One little reminder, since it is the end of the fiscal year for us, if you haven't paid last year's pledge in full, please get it in as soon as you can. Yes? Okay, so you'll be starting 11:15, yeah. Okay, so you can head early to the fellowship, to the Mountain View room. Okay.
The service will be on Zoom as well as in person.
Okay, so next week's service will be on Zoom and in person, right? Okay. So also, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome your new president, Nancy DeLaura. Where is she? There she is. You probably already know Nancy because she's involved in so much in the fellowship already, and she does everything so well and makes it all look so easy. You have no idea she's working as hard as she is. So please welcome her and support her. And then is Larry Sherwood here? Oh yeah, so Larry, you want to stand up? He's our new vice president. Yay. We really appreciate Larry stepping up. And any other board people that are on the upcoming board? I know Paul's here. Yeah, great. And thank you so much, and pay your pledges, and go have some coffee. Thank you.
Please rise in body or in spirit. Join hands. Go in hope, for the arc of the universe is long and we can bend it towards justice. Go in courage, for together we have the strength to confront injustice in our daily lives and the larger world. Go in love, because a holy and generous love is the reason and the means by which we transform our lives. Oh, and speaking of love.
Speaking of love, we get to sing together one last time. Well, actually, two last times. We're going to start by singing Lean on Me, one of our most beautiful songs of support, compassion, allyship. We're going to sing Lean on Me, and then we are going to transition right into Love Shack by the B-52s. All right? How many? Yeah, why don't we rise in body or spirit, and especially dance in body or spirit. This is a good one to get moving to. All right, so I think most of the words are going to be up there. If not, you can just make up your own. I'll help you carry. I'll help you carry on. For it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Verse 3. If there is a load you have to bear that you can't carry, right up the road, I'll share your load. If you just call me, lean on me. When you're not strong, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. For it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody. One more time. Lean on me. When you're not strong, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. For it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. All right, here we go. Get ready. Take it away, Debbie.
Yeah, Debbie.
If you see a faded sign at the side of the road that says 15 miles to the Love Shack, yeah. I'm headed down the Atlanta highway, looking for a love getaway, heading for a love getaway. Got me a car, it's as big as a whale, and we're headed on down to the Love Shack. I got me a Chrysler, it seats about 20, so hurry up and bring your jukebox money. The Love Shack is a little old place where we can get together. Love Shack, baby. Love Shack, baby, Love Shack. 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 Sign says, stay away, fools, 'cause love rules at the Love Shack. Well, it's way back in the middle of the field, just a funky old shack, and I gotta get back. Hugging and a kissing, dancing and a loving, wearing next to nothing, 'cause it's hot as an oven. The whole shack shimmies. The whole shack shimmies. The whole shack shimmies when everybody's moving around and around and around and around. Everybody's moving, baby. Folks lining up outside just to get down. Everybody's moving, baby. Funky little shack. Funky little shack. The Love Shack is a little old place where we can get together. Love Shack, baby. Love Shack, baby. Love Shack, that's where it's at. 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 Bang, bang, bang on the door, baby. I can't hear you. Knock a little louder, baby. Bang, bang, bang on the door, baby. I can't hear you. Knock a little louder, sugar. Bang, bang, bang on the door, baby. Bang, bang, bang on the door, baby. Bang, bang on the door, baby. Bang, bang. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Love Shack, baby, Love Shack. 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 Love Shack, baby, Love Shack.
One more time.
Love Shack, baby, Love Shack.
Stop now.
Hugging and a kissing, dancing and a loving at the love